the NFL on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Bucs and the Jaguars, next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State and TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. This crowd excited to see their Jaguars as both teams emerge from their tunnels a moment ago. We are just about ready for football as the Jags get set to match up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They come in playing some decent football, 5-3 in their last 8 games.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory, and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. Taken in at the 3. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
It's a pretty bland game he had last time out. Ended up throwing 1 interception, didn't have a touchdown to offset it, but the team found a way to win. He found a way to lean on other parts of the offense that carried them through.
Fields on first down. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what it said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
On 2nd and 10, Fields. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. And, CD, you look at this defense, what kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level, and sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to play the perfect game. You're trying to be too precise, too fine, instead of just letting it rip. And I think that's more the priority than trying to be absolutely perfect.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. So here are the Jaguars now with a long field ahead. They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
After seeing what he did last week, throwing 4 touchdown passes, I had to go to my thesaurus to try and come up with some great words for what he did. I'm still coming up blank. He was scintillating.
I'm going simple. I don't have your thesaurus. I'm going dynamite. He was dynamite.
I'll take it.
First carry for the Clemson man, Travis Etienne. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
He didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Quick throw caught by Godwin. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball's thrown.
On play action, Lawrence. Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a third down. Well, this defense for the Bucs, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
Yeah, they gave up 17 points, but that's what you would consider a goal for each and every defense, because if you give up 17 points a game all year long, you're thinking you're going to be a playoff team because you expect your offense to score more than that. That's what you're looking for. Room to improve, of course, but I'd have to say a very solid performance.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now fourth down. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Meanwhile, Fields' throw taken in by Cooper here. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down. Fields now to throw. And that's incomplete.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big third down coming up.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Fields. And that is incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things, get back to what works. That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different. I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Lawrence to throw. He'll drop this one off with ETN. They'll give him 4 yards there. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Logan Cook now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now a first down throw, Fields. This is caught by Evans. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On first down, it's Fields. Looking for Cooper, that's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Throw left side complete. That's Howard. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 39. Fields throwing again. Flush to his right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or two. It's no good.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
Final play of the half. It's Lawrence. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And incomplete on the deep ball. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they have the lead over the visiting New York Jets. Tyler Boyd, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get down to Houston. Check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And they were winners in that one as they defeat the visiting Tennessee Titans. Christian McCaffrey, 2 touchdown runs to lead the way. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in the first half for Tampa Bay. And they weren't able to get a whole lot done throwing the football. That'll likely be a big key if they want to turn things around in the second half. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there. Both these teams running through their final adjustments before they head out of the locker room. We're just about set for the second half. And to bring it your way, let's go.
On first down, Fields. He completes it to Evans. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you had. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
On second and 10, Fields. They'll run the screen with Mack. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. To the air again, Fields. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Lawrence giving to ETN here on the option. And able to find a little space. He gets this up over the 15 to the 16. 86 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Lawrence going to keep this himself. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Off the option, here's ETN. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down. So and the Jags get to him as down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now Fields. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Johnson. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. Oh, Cooper with a nice grab. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. That reception, it brings him up to the 700 plateau. He's at 700 career NFL catches now.
And that club in baseball, a rather exclusive club, and one we talk about all the time. In football, puts you in the top 50 all-time range. Not so bad either.
And that, nearly picked off. It would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's 2nd down. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Fields. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Throwing again is Fields. He finds his target. It's Evans. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Here's Fields. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And he's got this down to the 35. Even though this offense doesn't have a single point to its name, they're not totally out of this game yet. A touchdown here, they could be in business.
And how about that last play? Now they've got momentum going, so you know I'm a big advocate. Get back on the line of scrimmage. Throw another play at them while you've got them rocked on their heels.
A gain of 6 there on first.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Buying time to his left. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars 16. So there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
Dumps this one off to Mack. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Throwing again on second down. Fields. And he is going to be taken down. They got him. As that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
The kick by Elliott is good. And they are on the board. It's now 9-3. So you knew one way or another that they needed the 2 scores. They get the easy one out of the way. Now they'll get the ball back, hopefully.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you accomplish that? Do you onside kick it? Or since you have all 3 timeouts, do you kick it deep? To me, I'm playing field position with all 3 timeouts. I kick it deep and try and pin them back there.
And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
There he goes, right side. Past the 20.
Right down.
Touchdown, Jaguars. Travis Etienne, 79 yards. And the Jaguars are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Well, with that touchdown pass, I'm going to bring up a point from earlier in the year. Some of the fans were saying, when do we turn to the rookie? Well, he's looking pretty good right now.
I love the fact that the fans are bringing that up because I'm not the head coach. Okay, so he's got to deal with it. But I think it's a legitimate question. With the way their season is going, I think now is the time to turn the page and let him get some starts before this season is over.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Taken in at the 3. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. So now the Bucs down on the scoreboard. At time, a huge factor. It's been a struggle to score all day, and now they need to do it twice here late to have a chance. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. To throw again on 2nd down. Fields. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. From the gun, here's Fields. And yet again, it's Howard with a catch. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll go with a big bank Fournette. And boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Jags take over in terrific field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Another toe for Etienne. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 102 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. There's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now a first carry for their fullback. And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skill showing the power, but just not much room to operate. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.
So for the Jags, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they move to 8-5. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, it's a loss that could have implications on the playoff race as they fall to 9-4. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Houston Texans.